Good afternoon from the YOG Sports Park here in Nanjing, China for exciting second round coverage of the FIBA Basketball World Cup 2019. My name is Ryan Greco, taking care of your play-by-play, and I'm joined by the Brighton Bomber himself, Mark Mills, on your color commentary. And Mark, pride is on the line between these two nations matching up this afternoon, but that's all they really need to get this show on the road, isn't it?
Yeah, qualification through to the quarterfinals might be out of the question for both Lithuania and the Dominican Republic, but both these nations play basketball with so much pride, and no doubt we're instilling for a fierce competition.
As we can see, Lithuania getting their starting lineup announced here over the PA. A lot of fans still in attendance here for Lithuania. The fans getting up, getting loud for them, and you know that they're going to still make their noise heard, considering the rather disappointing, I guess you could say, results right now Lithuania is dealing with.
Yeah, heartbreak loss to France obviously ended their chance of making it through to the quarterfinals, and they really are playing for pride, but what they're also playing for, and I understand it, Coach Adamaitis has highlighted, they're playing for their fans. You know, there must be nearly maybe 1,000 Lithuanian fans in the arena, if not more, and that's enough motivation for any Lithuanian.
Not only that, though, here's a little stat for you. Lithuania have lost their last two games, but have never lost 3 in a row before in a FIBA Basketball World Cup, and I'm sure that they're not trying to make history tonight.
No, there is no way they are going to whimper out of this World Cup. Lithuania have never whimpered out of anything in their lives, so they're going to want to go out with a bang, and they want to take the win today.
As we take a look as well at the fans in the attendance here tonight, Lithuania, as we said, you know, they've got plenty of NBA talent on the floor, and you can imagine, though, this team right here looking to make a little bit of history of their own, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. They've obviously already taken the German scalp in this tournament, and they'd love to walk away with another one in their kit bags as they board their flight back to the Dominican Republic. And a win today, not only that, would give them definitely equaling, if not better than their best ever performance at a World Cup Finals. They've got a chance of finishing as high as 9th in the world.
That's incredible, considering what the expectations I think you could imagine were at the very beginning of the tournament for this roster. But I mean, it's just been an incredible team to watch. We've had a chance to see them play once against Australia today, and I mean, from the coaching staff to the players to the game plan, I mean, this team is so well polished, and they're running like a well-oiled machine right now.
Oh, they absolutely are. Like you say, the pre-tournament expectations probably wouldn't have been as high as this for Dominican Republic for most people, but they seem to have come together as a team, and they play a really exciting, high-tempo hustle game of ball.
As we take a look at our schedule for today, Dominican Republic right now and Lithuania about to match up. Also later on today, France taking on Australia. But don't go anywhere as we take a look at the group standings right now. In Group L, of course, France and Australia already moving on. But just hold on and stand by as we get ready for the national anthems.
Now, please stand for the national anthem of Lithuania. 请全体起立，升立陶宛国旗，奏唱立陶宛国歌。Please remain standing for the national anthem of Dominican Republic. 请保持肃立，升多米尼加共和国国旗，奏唱多米尼加共和国国歌。 请坐. Thank you, and please be seated. Now it's time to shake hands.
As you can see, coaching staffs and players exchanging pleasantries at the center court, and man, this is going to be one heck of a matchup, a real clash of styles in this one, Mark.
Yeah, really two physical teams, both can go after it, and you look at some of the battles that you've got, the likes of Kalnietis maybe going against Liz, and Valančiūnas against Vargas, and exciting times.
Absolutely. So take a look at the referees from the USA, Steven Marquise Anderson. We have Martins Kozlovakis from Latvia, and of course, Inte Juan of South Korea. Those are going to be your officials for tonight. And I mean, so let's have a little conversation here real quick. As the Dominican Republic, they've lost 7 of their last 8 matchups against a European club, looking to really make a little bit of history here at the World Cup for themselves. What are the keys to victory for them?
Well, the keys for victory for them is quite simple. They need to continue on their style and carry on as they are, really. Don't change.
As we take a look at the starting lineup, Grigonis, Kalnietis, Gudriatis, Kuzminskis, and Valančiūnas are going to be your starting 5 for Lithuania. And really, we should be expecting more than anything a big game from this young man right here, Sabonis.
Yeah, Domantas Sabonis, you know, averaging 10.5 points, 6.3 rebounds, 3.8 assists across the tournament. He's really filled up that box score, and he's just 23 years old. This is his first World Cup, but you imagine it's not going to be his last by a long way. You know, we could be seeing him back in the World Cup 3-4 more times, maybe.
Absolutely. As we're now taking a look at the Dominican Republic, getting their warm-ups in. Very talented roster in their own right, putting together really their A-team in this tournament so far. And we've definitely seen their A game, and they've gone up against some of the best in the world. As we take a look at their starting lineup, we've got Solano, Liz, Rojas, Baez, and Vargas starting your top 5. And I mean, just more than anything, Mark, this has been the most impressive Dominican Republic team I've personally ever seen, as somebody who does know a little bit about the Americas.
Yeah, no, they've really turned up for performances day in, day out, and they've, you know, got the rewards. And that man there, Solano, is a prime example of exactly how they've played the game. You know, he goes at anyone. 6.3 points, 6.8 assists for him in the tournament so far, and he really has stepped back from no challenge. And that is one of the keys to the Dominican Republic. They're not scared of anyone that they faced.
I mean, they've really had quite the schedule and matchups they've had all the way through, but of course a 2-2 record as we take a look at these teams' starting huddles before we get into this game.
Always good to go into the huddles, and the Lithuania one probably poses a little bit more symbolism at the moment. We've spoken to some of our Lithuanian colleagues, and it looks like it might be Coach Adamaitis' last game as head coach for Lithuania, signalling that he will step down at the end of this tournament. Not confirmed yet, but it seems to be that's the way it might go. His comments were that he had his personal ambitions of what they wanted to achieve here at the tournament, and they've not done it. I think his ambitions were aligned with getting one of the 2 European qualification spots for Tokyo 2020. They're obviously falling short of that and will go into the Olympic qualifying tournament.
And we've got tip-off. Lithuania taking on the Dominican Republic here in Group L. The last game of the FIBA World Cup 2019 for both of these teams. As Lithuania wins the tip, and it's Kalnietis at the top of the key getting started. Gets it over. Grigonis, mid-range jumper, knocks it down. Definitely the start Lithuania wanted.
Yeah, Grigonis was key. He's one of the highlight players in their game against France, and ended up with 10 points personal. And expect maybe to see a little bit more offense flowing through him.
Baez kicks it over into the corner. That was Rojas, gets it over to Liz. One more time to Solano. They work off a screen, nobody going though, giving him the space. Solano gonna go up and in himself. Can't finish, and the big man, Valančiūnas, with the rebound. Kalnietis now moving up, guarded by Solano. Valančiūnas, top of the key, guarded by Vargas. Kalnitis takes the screen. Tries to find space. Good defense by the Dominicans and a turnover by Vargas.
Yeah, great defense by Solano. Really wrapped him up.
Baez tries to get it back. Nice save there, though. Great defensive effort by the Lithuanians. They're going to see if they can try and extend this lead. Thinks about it. That was Grigonis. Gets it back over to Kalnitis. He was a very, very impressive factor for them against France in that previous game. Gets it inside. Gets it over to the big man, but an easy steal. You'd hope that him to actually kind of attack the basket there.
Yeah, should have done it. Opened up for him. There was enough space to go to the basket, but slightly too unselfish.
Rojas. Solano. Liz. Motion offense here. Liz going to find the space, but nice block and recovery there by Lithuania. Kudridis, excuse me, with the seal and the block. Other end now. See if Lithuania can create something here. Valančiūnas holds on to it now. He gets his isolation on Vargas. See if he's going to do it himself. Textbook move, foul, and one. Jonas Valančiūnas.
Yeah, and Valančiūnas today, after the French game where he came alive and dominated those closing stages in the paint, you have a feeling he's here to send a message out, and he started as he means to go on.
Nice spin off the release. That's the only reason that shot goes in, getting that proper backspin. And he's made an NBA career out of knocking down shots like that. Current Memphis Grizzly. He was traded earlier this year by the Toronto Raptors, but ever since joining the Grizzlies, he's been averaging a double-double to close out his season. And he's really just picked up where he left off here with Lithuania. And we're gonna have a foul. I believe it's off ball, however. We'll see who it's on. And it's gonna be on Grigonis. It's caught with a reach-in. On the baseline for the Dominican Republic. Liz thinks about it. Euro step, tries to go over. Oh, gets his own rebound and taps it in over the much taller Valančiūnas.
Yeah, there has to be better help on the defensive end there. Lithuania just fell asleep, and letting someone of that size get their own offensive rebound is criminal.
Kuzminskas tries to kick it inside, and Valančiūnas gets it. Spin move, pump fake, fade away. Oh, how pretty was that?
Yeah, this may be Valančiūnas' biggest ever day in World Cup basketball.
He's gotten it off going early. He's got 5 points already of Lithuania's 7. Liz at the top of the key, see if he can respond. He's been a huge scoring factor for this Dominican team. Solano with it now. Euro step, over. Great defense though by the Lithuanians, staying close, keeping the hands high. Fast break opportunity now. Kicks it back out. Dominicans all over him, but it's a save by Kuzminskas. Valančiūnas gets it inside. Kalnitis gets a little bit of real estate, can't finish. But right there, Johnny on the spot. Jonas Valančiūnas.
Yeah, up to 7 points, 3 rebounds. Almost had himself an assist there with the pass to Kalnitis, but yeah, he's come to play, that's for sure.
That's a stat stacker for him right there. Rebound and a point. Liz kicks it over to Vargas. Vargas going to take on Valančiūnas. Tries to go up and in, great help defense. Gets his dribble back, Baez for 3, wide open. Can't knock it down and give another rebound to Valančiūnas.
It's interesting to see if Kuzminskas is playing that off the scouting report. Baez is only shooting 22% from outside. It's a smart move.
Valančiūnas for 3. No good. If he made that one. Oh, man.
I think with his opening 3.5 minutes performance, he's earned the right to throw a 3 up.
Vargas, something he's really worked on the last 2 years, I'd say, in his career. Rojas, up and in, what a finish there. Takes the contact and everything.
Yeah, it's a smart play. He's, obviously understood that his team aren't flowing on the offensive end, so he's kind of initiated, been a little bit more direct than they would normally be, and he's earned himself the 2 points. He's unlucky, not to earn a trip to the line as well.
Liz getting called with a foul. You can see Coach Garcia, a little bit of disappointment there, not really expecting Liz to get beaten so easily off the dribble like that.
No, Coach Garcia, one of the probably the biggest personalities in this tournament. He just embodies basketball the whole time. An offensive foul being called this time.
And a little bit of a mix-up on the floor there, but nothing too rough. Take another look here. And of course, Liz, somebody that got called in the previous game, he got called for flopping at one point, and you know, the kind of guy that likes to throw his body around, likes to be physical. He understands that that's really the strength of his game, getting himself to the line.
Yeah, it certainly is. And just quickly, Grigonis there picking up his second foul really quickly, and Sabutis coming in his place.
Liz. Mendoza onto the floor for Dominican Republic, number 2. Oh, nice find underneath the basket. And they're going to say that he stepped out of bounds. Another substitution was Luis Montero for the Dominican Republic, number 44. He checks into the game as well for the Dominicans. Kalnitis bringing it up. Started by Mendoza. Kalnitis drives right by, up and in. What a finish there by Kalnitis.
Yeah, and it's one of his strengths. He's slightly oversized as a point guard, and he certainly capitalized on it there.
Montero gets it back out. This is Mendoza. Gonna work off a screen from Vargas, kicks it back out. Liz thinks about it. Spin move, up, under. Huge rejection by Jonas Valančiūnas.
And just a shake of the head as he does it as well.
Thinks back the other way and throwing it down. And a Dominican Republic timeout, much needed after Sabutis with the hammer. And we got a little bit of a conversation going on. Both of these teams understandably frustrated, but the whole overall mentality of both of these teams, you can imagine it's a battle for them.
Yeah, and here's a huge swap from Valančiūnas. Timed it perfectly, just bangs it off the glass. And if you see in the replay, you might not see it, but Valančiūnas shaking his head, saying, "Not in my house" on that play, as we see Kuzminskas finishing it off at the other end for the dunk. And a little bit of handbags after it. Don't really need it, but we understand it so much, you know, although they're not going to go through to the quarterfinals, so much still to play for on Pride.
Atacar rápido, seguir con drible, hand off, drive and kick, cambio el ángulo en la cortina, acá lo presionás, back y te paras al frente, no vayas con él, porque es mucho más alto y te lleva tajón, lo del pass, bang y lo parás ahí. Necesitamos mover más la pelota, Vitico, entro, toco, back pass, muevo, que provoquemos buenos tiros, porque Valančiūnas está ahí adentro y nos tapa toda, hombre, vamos.
As we see some of the highlights of Valančiūnas now, and they've come with a chip on their shoulder, and that's a dangerous Lithuania to face, you know, and Valančiūnas has embodied that. 7 points, 5 rebounds in the first, well, not even 5 minutes of the game, and he's going to be a handful for the entire 40 minutes for Dominican Republic. I would not want to be a front court player for Dominican Republic today.
What a stat line. We're not even halfway through the first quarter.
I'd have been happy at the end of the game with that stat line. That would have done me.
As Mendoza going to bring the ball up now. And before the play even began, the referee's going over to both players, letting them know. As we kick over now, out of bounds, and not the entrance out of the timeout that the Dominican Republic would have hoped for.
Yeah, and Coach Garcia is showing his disdain for that play. It's an almost impossible pass for Vargas to hold on to. He's never going to catch that.
Valančiūnas was way too on the defensive switch there. You can't even really blame Vargas. He probably wasn't even able to see the ball. There's a drive inside. Kicks it over to Valančiūnas. Knocked away. Great team defense by the Dominicans, and they're off and running. Liz and Kalnitis wisely reaches in. That's only his first personal.
Yeah, it's a smart play, you know, slowing down the transition. He needs to be careful that it doesn't become an unsportsmanlike foul. That's what that's been kind of brought into the game for. But as long as you're showing that you're making an attempt at the ball, the officials really aren't going to call anything against you.
Still on the inbound, Mendoza gets it back over. This is Rojas. Shot goes up, Liz, no good. Another defensive rebound. Lithuania averaging 40 rebounds per game in this FIBA World Cup. Here's a look at the top of the key. Kuzminskas, pump fake, up and in, and Jonas is right there. Jonas was hoping to try and cram it back down, but still gets the fingertip.
Yeah, it just came off his fingertips. You saw him pat his hands together. He's running back down the court, but yeah, he wanted to finish that with some power.
Out of that timeout, we also have Edgaras Ulanovis, number 92 for Lithuania, on the floor. As Liz now with the ball. Loses a handle, and it's going to stay Dominican Republic ball, as it looked like Valančiūnas had knocked it loose.
Yeah, and his great hands, considering the size difference and the speed difference. For Valančiūnas to be able to match the hand speed of someone like Liz is testament to Valančiūnas.
A substitution on the floor as we take a replay there. Valančiūnas, the little tip back, that's his second of the game. Almost the exact same looking. You can see him smiling, thinking, I almost had that highlight.
How wonderful have they been, the Lithuanian fans? They have not been quiet for a second.
Shot goes up. No good as shot clock expires. Also into the game for Lithuania, number 43, Lukas Lekavičius. And he gets it inside to Valančiūnas as Roberts is guarding him. Valančiūnas goes up, but some good team defense. However, it's going to be a foul, but at least, are they going to say it's going to be on the an attempt? Yep, 2 shots.
And it's interesting, that's all driven from that shot fake. And we talked about it in the France game. It's a really believable shot fake. You know, he's really put a lot of work in. Some people, when they do their shot fake, they just kind of move the ball. They don't really like to shoot the ball. That's almost in his perfect rhythm for shooting, so he does draw a lot of people into the air.
I think a beautiful thing about Valančiūnas is he gets the kind roll on the foul shot there. Valančiūnas is the kind of guy where he's so big and so wide and so strong that you have to respect, even when he knows that he can take his time at that shot, because very few people, even in the NBA, are going to be able to get up and try and block that.
Yeah, you're going to have to jump. If he's shooting the ball and you want to contest it, you're not just stepping out and putting a hand in the face. You're going to have to go up with it, and that's how he's drawing that space. And now he's at double-digit scoring already.
17-4, exactly the kind of start that Lithuania was hoping for. They want to send a message right now as Solano gets it, and it's going to get knocked loose, and it's going to be Lithuania ball.
And once again, it's Valančiūnas. He is absolutely desperate to prove a point here in this game. They are going to go out screaming from this game, Lithuania.
I must say, Mark, it is bittersweet watching him play so well for Lithuania right now as a Raptors fan.
Yeah, it is, I imagine.
Getting back to the action, Kuzminskas can't get the kind roll, and it's going to stay. Nope, it's going to be Dominican Republic ball as Roberts does a great job that time boxing him out.
And I think that's a good option for Dominican Republic. I think they're probably a little bit late to make that change to bring Roberts in. He has a, maybe slightly more athletic, if slightly undersized to Valančiūnas, but I think he probably has the physique and the strength to maybe contain Valančiūnas a little bit more.
Here we are, Mendoza. Gonna work off the screen, gets it out to Ronald Roberts, who had a couple of huge highlights against the Aussies a couple of days ago. Solano kicks it out. Rojas for 3. Big shot for the Dominican Republic.
And the Dominican Republic can breathe a sigh of relief. You know, that's only their 3rd score of the quarter, as a foul is going to be called on Solano, trying to strip the ball away from Lekavičius. But yeah, that's a relief that they get their 3rd basket after 7 minutes of play, and they're in for a challenge today.
Made no mistake about it, however. Solano, just a little bit too much contact, but I understand the frustration, because a lot of the time when you're playing pickup, that's not a foul, that's a steal. But of course, we're playing at a much higher level than that.
Couldn't get further away from pickup if he tried.
Kuzminskas inside. Stolen away though. Nice save. Here comes the Dominicans. Mendoza kicks it out in the corner. Solano wants a reset, and he's got plenty of time to do it. Works off the screen now. Hesitates, kicks it back out. Mendoza now creates a separation. Nice shot there. Not mad at that at all.
Become a bigger and bigger part of the modern day game for a guard, being able to do that step back, stepping in and pushing yourself back as far as you can while staying in control, and that's how he got the bucket away.
Kuzminskas maybe trying to go for some revenge there after getting shifted on that. Yeah, he's going to want an ISO for a moment. Try and break down his opponent. Up and can get the finish, and revenge he gets. Kuzminskas, what a nice finish under the basket.
Yeah, wonderful control. You know, he hasn't necessarily got the quickest feet or the quickest hands, but it's all about the control in that play.
Balance, balance. You don't always need quick feet if you've got good balance and a strong core. Solano works it off, kicks it inside. Roberts, finds a man outside. Shot goes up, knocks it down, and here comes the Dominican Republic.
That's an unbelievable run. Only a 2 for that, but that's 3 long-range jumpers in a row, and that's going to signal a few alarm bells for Lithuania. They're let back into this one.
Kuzminskas going to get called with the offensive foul, easily rolling the shoulder and going right into the chest of Montero, right in front of the referee. Easy call.
Yeah, just trying to clear space, and that's going to earn him a trip to the bench. Let's have a look at the replay. Yeah, just steps in, and it's almost the extension of the arm. I think he'd get away with a little bit of shoulder, the little nudge, but the extension of the arm was too much.
I think you're absolutely right. It's a great save there, and that resulted in this shot. As as the Dominicans, you know, they're such an incredibly well-coached team by Garcia and, of course, the rest of the coaching staff for the Dominicans. This doesn't shock me at all that despite being down 17-4, it's a good effort. Here's Montero, loses a steal, though. Fast break opportunity. Here comes Lithuania, up and in. What a defensive stop. And right away, making up for it, it was Montero that gave up the turnover but ran all the way back. He had more distance to cover than anybody else, Mark.
Yeah, it's a smart play, you know. It's going to earn you some points with your coaching staff if you're willing to chase back after you make the mistake. But really, for me, that's a mistake from Sabutis. He's got to convert those kind of plays. He's got plenty of experience and ability.
Solano drives up on Valančiūnas, can't finish, and it's Valančiūnas with the rebound. And he's going to go right between the legs, and point guard Jonas gets it over to Valančiūnas finally. Valančiūnas gets it outside, bobbles the ball for a second there with Sabutis. Valančiūnas now gets his ISO. Just rims out, ball don't lie. It almost looked like he almost got away with a carry there.
Yes, slightly. It's not something he's necessarily going to get called on, but for me, it's back to the old school of basketball. When you've got a Valančiūnas that's this motivated, just get him in the post and let him go to work, and you'll see things come off that.
4 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock. Dominican Republic going to wind it down. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Up inside, Roberts, up and in, goes right at Valančiūnas. A huge bucket, much to the delight of the Dominicans. Here we go. Last second chance. Valančiūnas knocks it down!
That is a wonderful play. They're going to check it, I think, to see if it did actually go off before the clock went, but this is the key for someone like Valančiūnas. He is so quick. They had about 3 seconds left on the clock, and he ends up taking a jumper from maybe a meter outside the three-point line just due to his, you know, sheer foot speed. They don't call him Lightning McQueen for no reason.
Okay, here at the end of the period, can you go back to the made basket? Back to the made basket. We got it. That's what we're looking at. All right, go ahead. Run it back all the way to when the clock is running initially. Okay, here we go. Go ahead and run it. Slow it down. Keep going. All right, so they stopped it there, so that's one. Play it full speed, regular speed, normal speed. Go back, sorry. All right, here we go. Just regular speed.
It's more than 1 second. The shot was on a buzzer, okay. So you cannot count.
Run it back to the release of the shot. This one here. Okay, it's in his hand anyway at 0. Okay. All right, confirm, no basket. After review, it's confirmed. No basket.
They're going to call it no basket. Hand was still on the ball as time had expired. Quick replay at that, Mark.
Yeah, it's clear as well. You can see it really well. And this is when the new ref review system works absolutely beautifully. Great to get these kind of calls right.
19-14, Lithuania leads at the end of 1.
Always interesting to look at some of the shooting stats. Dominican Republic, you know, not necessarily getting to the free throw line. Lithuania, once again, not getting anything going from the perimeter. Kind of a little bit of a non-story that, though, when you've got someone like Valančiūnas who's got 11 of your first 19 points. But Lithuania let Dominican Republic back into this. They were up by 13 at one point.
Yeah, an impressive run by the Dominican Republic. They went on a 10-2 run to close out that quarter. And of course, to catch up on all of the latest news and highlights of the FIBA World Cup 2019, be sure to download the app both on iTunes and Google Play as we get back to the action. And Valančiūnas, guess who? The man of the moment. Despite that, still a very impressive shot. Here's Machulis getting his first touches in the game. Also with the ball now is number 13, Valančiūnas. He's getting his first minutes as well.
You really surprised, and it sounds silly to say this, that Lithuania let Dominican Republic back into the game. They didn't really let them in. Dominican Republic just barged the door down and forced their way back into the game, and it's what they've done all tournament.
Very unorthodox style with those long twos, something that you really don't see in today's basketball anymore, but they didn't care. They went right to it. Nice spin move there, but just rolls out. And the Dominican Republic, the defense holding steadfast there in the paint, Mark.
Yeah, and Lithuania running a slightly smaller lineup than they normally would. Maybe they're trying to increase the pace or just match what the Dominican Republic are doing at the moment.
Solano kicks it over, Peña for three. No good, just rims out. And the shooting woes from behind the arc for the Dominican Republic continue. They're shooting 29%.
Yeah, that hurts. They're going to struggle to beat Lithuania shooting below 30%.
Here's Valančiūnas. Roberts on him. Detritus gets it inside. Almost a finish there. Gets it back. Machulis and Rigoberto holds off, and there's going to be a stop and play.
I presume it's with regards to the shot clock. Yeah, I think they were just checking to see that the ball actually did touch the ring on that. And that's reset to 14. It did, so they'll get the ball back to the side with 12 left on the shot clock.
Detritus on the inbound, gets it over to Valančiūnas. Rigoberto off the screen. Picks it back out. Valančiūnas inside. Villanovas up in. Nice finish there as shot clock was expiring, and Peña just kind of holds his arms up going, I tried everything.
It's great, and the thing you've got is this great defense. It's just a wonderful shot from Villanovas. That soft left hand on the float.
Montero back over to Solano. Inside, Mendoza. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Mendoza going to drive it himself, creates a little bit of space, but they're going to call a foul too, and one. Great play there by Solano.
Yeah, it's a smart heads-up play, you know. He's let go of the ball with 1.8 seconds left on the shot clock. He's read the shot clock. He's looked for better options, but when there wasn't one, he's just been a little bit more direct, and he's earned himself not just 2 points, but a trip to the line.
Rigoberto Mendoza creating that separation and finishing as we take a look at that impressive left-hand finish there by Ulanovas for Lithuania. Completes the three-point play. Rigoberto Mendoza with 6 points so far for the Dominicans. Machulis going to take it himself, up and in, finish, and he's going to get hacked and go to the line.
But he's got to make that count. He's done the hard work. He's created the separation. He's got the first step on someone. And to not make that layup, it's, you know, criminal really, because the contact, yeah, it's on his right hand, but realistically he should be laying that in with his left. It shouldn't even be a conversation.
Machulis rims in for the first. 7:55 to go here in the second quarter. Lithuania still up by 5 after leading by as much as 13 in this game. No good on the second. A tip out though. Nice heads-up play there by the Lithuanian forward, Valančiūnas.
Yeah, unbelievably, that's his first free-throw miss of the entire tournament.
Rigoberto up, under, and finish. He knew exactly what he was going to do as soon as he drove for the basket.
As the games go by, I have so much growing respect for Valančiūnas. He's undersized, which makes it so difficult in the modern game, but he doesn't care. It's just pure speed, aggression. He's quite happy to go in amongst the trees. A real good player.
Baez picks it back up. Peña now. He's got 7 seconds on the shot clock. Baez tries to get it, and they're going to call the foul right in front of the Lithuanian bench. Yeah, nobody liking that one.
Coach Adamaitis with his arms crossed. He's not happy with that call. As we see Valančiūnas just floating through amongst the trees, but it doesn't bother him. Up and under for the reverse lay.
Mendoza picks it back out. Here's Roberts. Solano. Dominican Republic with a fresh shot clock to work with on that, but they got 6 seconds left on it. Step back, long two, no good. And Valančiūnas with the rebound.
And I agree with you about the conversation you were saying, you know, that the step back for the long two seems crazy, and that's something they need to work on.
Well, great effort there. They're going to say Lithuania ball.
They need to have the on-court smarts to know where they are. If you're going to create that separation, then you have to be stepping back for the three. You know, the reward for a long two just doesn't merit the shot.
Or, you know, Mark, even with that being said, as we take a look, great defense there by Solano, fighting for it. Clearly off his hands as he was going out of bounds. Easy call for the ref. Lithuanian bench showing their support. Valančiūnas gets by his defender one more time. Nice and easy layup this time.
Just too quick. He's a really awkward player to play against because you just need to be able to match him with speed. And at the moment, do the Dominican Republic have that player? Maybe in Victor Liz they do, but do they want to burn all his energy up guarding Lekovičius?
This is Mendoza. Crossover. Oh, nice find inside, up and in. Can't get it to drop as Vargas. Still going to the line for 2.
That'll be Machulis' second foul, but it's a smart foul. Make Vargas earn his points from the line.
Substitution back into the game, or actually getting his first look in the game, is Arnes Valančiūnas taking out Edgaras Ulanovas. Valančiūnas, number 51. Also, Victor Liz, number 5 for the Dominican Republic, checks back into the game, the leading scorer for this Dominican team.
Yeah, and he's been impressive, Victor Liz. You know, throughout the tournament, he really has been the one that they've lent on when the offense has dried up slightly, and he's thrived in that role.
Vargas makes good on the first free throw. 6:29 to go. 26-18, Lithuania leads. Vargas makes good on the second.
Yeah, for a big man, very good free throw shooter. Prior to today's game, 85% in this tournament.
The shooting percentage actually just went up, too. Kicks out. Valančiūnas gets it again. Tries to work off a screen. Up and in again, and it's going to be goaltending. And this time he's showing he can do it with either hand.
And instantly, Coach Garcia is making a change. He's bringing in Solano. He thinks Solano may be the cure to the Lekovičius issue that they have at the moment. It's just pure pace. There's nothing else in that. That's not about handles or anything like that. That's just literally sticking his foot on the gas, and he's quicker than any of the Dominican Republic players.
Impressive second quarter for him after a very impressive first quarter by Jonas Valančiūnas. Lithuania, they look focused. Peña kicks it back out. Liz with the ball. Hesitates, gonna go up and under, finds the open man, buys at the end there. Liz, 2 seconds on the shot clock, he's gotta let it go. Huge rejection by Valančiūnas, easy one as he wags the finger, no thanks. Fast break opportunity for Lithuania. Up in the other end, rebound, buys. Here comes the Dominicans. We got a track meet. Buys, kicks it out. Liz wide open, and a tough miss.
Yeah, I think you look up the word ugly in the dictionary, and that's the shot that you'll see.
Kunis able to kick it over. Valančiūnas to Valančiūnas. Valančiūnas, 8 seconds on the shot clock. Finally gets it over to his point guard. Valančiūnas gets it inside. Great defense there, though, by the Dominicans. Vargas on the fast break gets it over to his guard. Liz is going to let it fly for 3 this time, and he does not miss.
And this all stems, it sounds really bizarre, but this all stems from Valančiūnas' block and Geraitis getting out and running. The last thing Lithuania want to do is get in a run-and-gun game with Dominican Republic. They want to slow it down, they want to take it into European half-court basketball. Getting out and running, that's exactly what the Dominican Republic wants, and they will punish you if you do it.
Excellent shot by Liz, great heads-up play by Vargas to find his point guard. And Lithuania are going to take a timeout as a result.
Pasižiūrėkime, mes lošiam, kad paduoti į vidų, ne? Ir Kalnas su kamuoliu, Džiavy eina. Ir jeigu vėl gavus, nemetimas, jeigu laisvas, taip, į vidų iškart. Važiuojam, dar. Mes už!
As we take a look at the beautiful large flag there, but this game has been all about Lithuania's paint game. Mark, they've only attempted 1-3 this entire game so far.
And why would you attempt any more? Ultimately, your job as a basketball player is to get the highest percentage possible chance to score the ball. And that's as close as you can get. And at the moment, the wonderful thing is it's not just coming from the bigs. It's not just coming from Valančiūnas. We haven't even seen Sabonis yet, so it's not coming from those kind of old school bigs and battling away. It's also coming from some great, quick, speedy work, slicing down the lane when the lane opens up for them. And for the Dominican Republic, that's a problem. You know, it's not just one problem that they've got to solve, it's two. How do they stop Valančiūnas, and how do they stop the likes of Lekovičius?
Simple philosophy back home is take what the defense gives you, and Lithuania is doing exactly that here against the Dominicans in the early going. There's Valančiūnas. Kalnidas back into the game here for Lithuania, number 5. Gets it over. Valančiūnas falls to the floor, still with it though, tries to find his teammate, kicks it out. That was Valančiūnas, kicks it over. Grigonis now with 3 seconds on the shot clock, tries to get the kiss off the glass, but nothing happening, Mark.
It was a smart play by Grigonis, the little fake and the step in for a higher percentage jumper off the glass, just didn't quite execute it well enough.
Guys, kicks it over to Peña. Liz. See some daylight, up and under, and I think he threw himself, but does get the foul. Lithuanians frustrated by it.
I'd like to see the replay on that one. I think Liz worked exceptionally hard to draw any contact. It looked like the Lithuanians pretty much stepped out the way. Yeah, just about a foul maybe, but that's a tough one for Grigonis to take, and that's his 3rd personal as well.
The only thing that, he got the call, Mark, but the only thing that kind of frustrates me about that is we had the perfect angle to see it from here. He would have had the layup.
Yeah, that is the frustration.
Like you go so hard to try and get the foul, you're forgetting that the idea is to score.
And exactly what you just said. Take what the defense give you. If they give you nothing, try and draw the foul.
Yeah.
If they give you an open lane, take the 2 points off the glass. You know, and that's sometimes the issue you have when you're in a mindset of draw the foul, draw the foul, draw the foul. You almost forget what the point of basketball is.
And with that being said, I can understand Grigonis' frustration because he did his homework. He's clearly been watching the tape.
Stepped out of the way as much as he possibly could.
But all the same, there's a reason why Liz is the leading scorer for the Dominican Republic, and there's a reason why he's such a great offensive talent, is his ability to do this and get to the line.
Yeah, and that's been key for him for the whole tournament. Getting to the line is, you know, a major part of his game and a major part of his offensive output.
There's Kalnidas. Gets it over. Valančiūnas gonna go up and it throws it down. Go get him, big man.
Oh, steps up with a big one-hander, and so maybe a little bit of frustration from the Lithuanians being vanquished with that dunk.
A parting of the Yellow River on that one right here in Nanjing, China. And the rim, the mesh is still strung up on the other end. That's how powerful that throwdown was. Here's Liz, 3 seconds on the shot clock. He's got Valančiūnas on him, gets the mismatch he wanted, throws it up. No good, but no one under the basket for the Lithuanians. Here's Liz. Kicks it back out, but an ill-advised pass, leaving his feet unnecessarily. Maybe don't want to force that, especially when you already have a fresh 14.
Oh, and there's the nasty dunk. Just saw the, like you say, the lane open up, and Bukovic just obliges with a thunder dunk as he drives down the lane, and exactly what Lithuanian fans want, and you can hear the noise levels go up.
I'm just laughing because at the other end of the court, the mesh was still stuck, and we got a kid there trying to get it down with a hook, and Valančiūnas literally just walked up, didn't even go on his tippy toes and just pulled it down. Sheer size of this front court, and a nice finish there. Number 19, Kuzminskis, forcing a Dominican Republic timeout.
And you see a good smile on Valančiūnas' face, and you know exactly why, because they're going back to what they should be doing. Getting in the half court, waiting for the lane to open up, or get the ball into the post. Great play by Lithuania.
One, two, three. Open. Everybody.
Todo abierto, Pablo. No están una hora con la bola, no. Recibo, ataco, shot stop, paso, paso, paso. Tenemos que hacerlo natural. Quedan 3:30. Empezamos a defender durísimo. Hay que terminar ahí. Hay que terminar ahí. Vamos. Hay que terminar cerca. Hay que anotar ahora. ¿Saben? 2. ¿Te acuerdas de 2 o no? Bueno, acá tenés que estar, no acá. No tenés que hacer nada. 2. 2. Vamos. Anda por Euro.
Interesting timeout from Garcia, and animated, but at the moment he can't be too upset. You know, the Dominican Republic haven't necessarily played their best basketball. They only trail by 8. The issue they've got is, at the moment, they're hemorrhaging points and high percentage points as well, as Lithuania are finding it easy to get to the basket.
Dominican Republic bringing it up. Here's Solano. Over to Montero. And this is Rojas. Vargas. Solano. Solano now, 9 seconds on the shot clock, gonna drive it himself. Oh, nice find underneath, but another big rejection by Jonas Valančiūnas, bringing out his inner Dikembe Mutombo, much to the delight of the Chinese fans here in attendance.
Yeah, just the stare down after this as well. Valančiūnas times it perfectly. Long, long arms, and it comes off the foot of Liz. So not only does he get the block and the wagging finger, but they get the ball back as well. Third block of the game for Valančiūnas.
Substitution as well to top it all off. Rigoberto Mendoza comes back into the game for Liz, but a turnover. Lithuania cannot capitalize, Mark.
No, it's kind of, they seem to get a bit of rhythm, and then the Dominican Republic pour a little bit of water on that fire.
Great defense we've seen from the Dominicans despite the 32 points. Fade away, no good for Vargas. Not mad at that shot though, he's got the form for it.
He's got the form for it. The issue you've got Valančiūnas coming out at you, and that is a hell of an arc you have to get over it.
Even for a man his size. Kalnidas now. Still directing traffic here in the corner on the wing. Gets it inside. Valančiūnas keeps the hands high and a beautiful finish. And you just love to see that. That's the sort of stuff, Mark, you show to the younger kids on the tape and you go, look how he keeps his hands high. He sees the mismatch.
Oh, and he doesn't bring the ball down.
No.
That's the big thing. He's not bringing it down to chest height. He's not bringing it down to where Solano could strip it away. He's kept it high, and you know, that's why he's shouting at his guard, give me the ball. I know I've got the mismatch. I know I've got the 2 points.
Here's Solano. Montero. Shot goes up. No good. And Valančiūnas flexing the muscles on that rebound.
He's an absolute monster. 13 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks for him already.
Gets it inside now. This is Kuzminskas, excuse me. Fade away. Baby hook. Beautiful.
And this is exactly why I imagine this is what Coach Adamaitis was talking about in the timeout to his team. Just keep going into the half court. Slow it down. We're not struggling to get high percentage shots in the half court. Let's stay with that.
Dare I say it almost looks like the interior defense is Rojas finds a little space, but and Valančiūnas trying to check on him. Here we go, the other end. Kuzminskas going to drive up, loses a handle on it, and it's going to be a foul. As Valančiūnas still in the other end, checking Rojas. Some great sportsmanship there shown, and Rojas, of course, a very animated player, as we've seen from time and again. But
yeah, he gives the official the eyes, the all-knowing eyes. But yeah, great sportsmanship from Valančiūnas as we see the ball being knocked away.
You see right here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he loved him as he came down. Okay, I can understand why he was on the ground there for a little bit, because when you have a man of Valančiūnas' size coming down on you like that, that's tough for anybody. Oh, Valančiūnas now, he's starting to have some fun. Up and under, and the foul, and one. Count it. Jonas Valančiūnas for Lithuania.
That was Shaq-esque. That really was. That quick spin move with the feet and just, yeah, left his defender for dust. Wonderful move. Quick feet for such a size.
You know he's feeling it when he palms the ball at first, as if he's toying with the defense on the interior. And they just have no response from him right now.
25 points is Valančiūnas' highest ever score in the World Cup, and that was in the bronze medal game against France 4 years ago. You have a feeling he's going to top that today.
This is the first free throw, however. Possible three-point play, not happening. Solano now brings it up. Lithuania shooting just 67% from the free throw line. Shot goes up, rims out, and that was a shot that was knocking down earlier for Montero. See if he can get it back into form, because the Dominican Republic are going to need it in this final minute.
Yeah, Valančiūnas is one rebound away from her first half double-double.
Kuzminskas, no good. Rebound, Mendoza. 45 seconds, got a full possession left. Solano now, he's got the mismatch. Gets it on the inside though. Roberts can't finish. Sabunas gets it over to Kalnidas.
And you wonder why Solano didn't take that mismatch. Surely that's what the whole point of the screen is, to get that mismatch.
Kalnidas, no good. Spins out, Roberts comes down with it. That's just Lithuania's second attempt from the three-point line this whole game. 15 seconds remaining now. The Dominicans desperately need a bucket here. You've always talked about momentum going into the half, Mark. Here we go. Solano kicks it in the corner, nice find, shot goes up, no good. Rebound, Lithuania, and much to the delight of the Lithuanian fans in this arena, an impressive first half from the Baltic Giants. 38-24, Lithuania leads.
And like you say, this hasn't been a three-point shootout for either team. Neither team are really profiting from the outside. It's all about the paint, and at the moment, Lithuania are dominating that as they lead by 14. And look at the battle of the boards, 23-12. And a lot of that lies on the shoulders of Valančiūnas. 9 personal rebounds for him. But what a second quarter for Lithuania, outscoring Dominican Republic 19-10.
So take a look at the top scorers. Valančiūnas, of course, with 15. Liz only with 7 so far in this game. I mean, he's still kind of staying to his averages, but they're going to need a lot more from him going into this.
Yeah, they really are. Ultimately, they're averaging a score of nearly 70 points a game in the World Cup across all of their games. They're only at 24 at the half. It's going to be tough to see them keep Lithuania to below 25-30 points in this second half, so they are going to have to really open up offensively, and that means they're going to have to improve this three-point shooting.
And I really, you know, on that note, Mark, I'm watching the defense, the interior defense for the Dominican Republic in that second quarter. As we took a look, Vargas and Ramon, excuse me, both of these guys, and Roberts as well, they're getting exhausted. You can see them breathing a little bit heavier with each time.
Yeah, it's certainly a tough task for Dominican Republic. They're going to have an absolutely huge second half if they're going to get back into this. So, yeah, so much to do for the Dominican Republic.
And ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere. We have second half action coming up here. It is Lithuania leading 38-24 after these highlights.
个掌声送给龙鼎武术为我们带来的江山如画。Give it one more time for 龙鼎功夫。
世界杯就在腾讯。
And leaves his man on the floor and throws it down.
Now we've got a Chinese poster.
Rodriguez, good back pass down the floor. And add yourself to the highlight reel, my friend.
Alexander Franklin getting what he deserved. He catches, he streaked down the floor.
To Claver. Claver, nice back pass into Willie Hernan Gomez. Oh my words.
What a move, what a drive initially.
Nice job by Claver. They're only up by 5. There's the pick and a pick and roll. And Delia with the basket with a one hand. What a perfect execution of a pick and roll. Oh boy, you like that.
Oh! Did you see that? Matu throws it down.
But this Nigerian team just keeps attacking the rim.
My parents gave me away, so I had no purpose in this life. Yeah. When you educate a woman, you educate a nation. It's a quote from Nelson Mandela, by the way.
And we'd like to welcome everyone back. Just about to get started. Second half action here in Group L between Lithuania and the Dominican Republic. As you can see, Lithuania getting warmed up right now. My name is Ryan Greco, taking care of your play-by-play, joined by Mark Mills on color. And Mark, I think it's safe to say that Lithuania came out meaning business in that first half.
Yeah, you saw a real chip on their shoulder and a point to prove. And, you know, they're doing it so far, and it's been really interesting how they've done it as well. Obviously, Valančiūnas is absolutely key to that. 15 points, 9 boards, and 3 blocks in that first half for him. But that man there, Kalnietis, he's the one that I want to highlight as one that bounces out for me from the box score. He's only been on the floor 11 minutes. He is plus-minus 19, okay? So every time, when he's been on the floor, Lithuania have been up by 19 points in just 11 minutes. For me, that's down to the 5 assists that he's got to his name as well. He really is facilitating today for Lithuania.
Absolutely, as long with, as you said, 5 assists, getting everybody involved. I mean, but we can't say anything enough about Jonas Valančiūnas, 15 and 9 in that first half. Almost already had a double-double. More or less actually almost matching his entire stat line when he was going up against France in that previous game. But overall, I mean, he's just been superb.
Yeah, the final quarter against France and then the first 2 quarters here against Dominican Republic, we've really seen the best of what Jonas Valančiūnas has. And if the Dominican Republic are going to face that for another 20 minutes, it's a tough ask for the likes of Baez and Vargas to stop him from just doing exactly what he wants.
So yeah, and let's talk about those Dominican bigs for a moment. I kind of alluded to it at the end of that half. Ronald Roberts, Eloy Vargas, even guys like Baez, who may be a little bit undersized, but still you see them playing involved in the paint here and there. I mean, they're going to have their hands full, because even by the end of it, they were looking pretty weathered and beaten.
Yeah, they have, and we've not even seen Sabonis yet. This is the scary thing for them. They just must be like, okay, so we've dealt with Valančiūnas and he's absolutely dominated us. We've not even seen Sabonis yet. And the key statistic with regards to the front court for me is that Lithuania are leading the battle for the boards 24-12. You're not going to win a game if you're letting the other team grab the ball twice as many times as you do.
Not just that as well, with Valančiūnas also with a number of blocks to his name. I mean, he's just been to the point where we even noticed a few times that some of the guards, when they even ISO'd on him and had an opportunity to bring him out to the three-point line and take him on, they were not having it. They would pass the ball off.
Yeah, they didn't want to do it, which is exactly what you want as a big man rim protector. You want that fear factor in the opponent's guards, so when you are drawn out to the perimeter, you're not exposed. You know, they're too scared what you might do to them. But yeah, Dominican Republic coming back on the floor, and a big 20-minute job for them if they want the win today.
Absolutely. Take a look, and really, so let's talk about the Dominican Republic for a moment here, Mark. Going into this half now, they're down 14. They've battled back from deficits like this before. They've not been blown out once in this World Cup, and they've really shown that fight and that character, especially of their head coach Garcia, who really, in my personal opinion, despite the loss against Australia, that was a master class in coaching and throwing different things at other teams. What do you think they're going to need, and what do you think their strategy is going to be going into the second half?
Well, Coach Garcia certainly won't let them quit. That's one thing for sure. They're going to fight until the final buzzer here in Nanjing. I think the issue that I have with them is that Victor Liz is still getting the points you'd expect him to get. So he's up to 7 at the half. He's averaging 14.5 a game. But it's how he's getting them. He's 1 from 6 from 2 points and 1 from 4 from the perimeter. 20% field goal shooting is not efficient enough for them to come away with the win.
They've also, the rest of the team has mimicked that performance, shooting only 23%, 3 of 13 from three-point land as an entire team. And then to top it all off, you can't shoot 27% overall and expect to win any kind of basketball game at any level.
No, they've not shot a high percentage from the perimeter for the entire tournament. You know, they're only shooting just over 30%, 30.3% from the perimeter, and their free throw shooting is only at 68%. So they're obviously not a great pure shooting team. But like you say, it's whether you are or you're not, you're going to have to get a lot more production if you're going to beat a team that has the depth and quality of Lithuania.
And dare I say it, they've really met and ran into with this team that has no problem whatsoever matching them when it comes to energy, effort, and passion. And I think that was something of a catalyst. That was something of an advantage in a way the Dominican Republic had for a number of those games where they just knew they were the underdogs. They were going to come in swinging and fighting. And maybe because they've done so well in this tournament, they may be falling victim a little bit to their own you don't want to say ego, but just a little bit to their own smell. I don't know what else to describe it as.
Yeah, I don't think teams take them lightly anymore either. I think when maybe they first got to the tournament, maybe teams overlooked them, but now they know they need to be prepared and ready to go. And Lithuania have certainly been this, up by 14 at the half.
And we get back to the action here. Second half, Lithuania leading Dominican Republic 38-24, as we see the starting lineup with the exception of Villanovas out there for Lithuania. And Valančiūnas, he's going to go right back to where he started on Vargas. Pump fake, up and in. And Vargas can't do much more than what he did.
No, for me, I'm not sure Vargas is the man to contain Valančiūnas. I thought he may have gone to Ronald Roberts, slightly more physical, slightly more athletic, big.
As we get going here, this is Solano, get it over to Mendoza for threes. Mendoza, no good. tries to get it out. Nice save. Great second effort by the Dominican Republic and Vargas with the floater. And that's the kind of start you want to see for him.
Yeah, and they're going to need those hustle plays. If they're going to break back into this game and reduce the 14-point deficit, that's the kind of play they need pretty much every time now.
Interestingly enough, Rigoberto Mendoza in as opposed to Victor Liz. He's the only non-starter that's starting off this second half for the Dominican Republic as a missed shot. And now Lithuania still yet to hit a 3 in this game.
That's interesting as well. Dominican Republic have dropped into a 2-3 zone, which should offer the 3-point shot to them as well.
Smart decision, but once again, we've said this time and again about Garcia. He knows how to coach.
Yeah, he certainly does. And, you know, you mentioned it, how quickly he can change plans and adjust and be flexible and try different things on the floor, on the fly. And I think that's probably been part of the success of Dominican Republic in this tournament, that they don't just have a plan A or maybe even just a plan B. They seem to probably go all the way down the alphabet.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. As you can see, much to the delight of Coach Garcia there. He's liking the start to his team. They're still showing that energy and fight as Solano now has the ball. And he's guarded by Kuzminskas. You can see almost... Nice throw inside. There's Vargas. They're getting them going.
That was an overplay from Lithuania. Valančiūnas didn't probably need to come across to help on the double team there. He should have just stayed true.
Kuzminskas. Kalnidas works off the screen, kicks it back out in the corner. Kuzminskas gets it over to Kalnidas. He's got an open look, gonna let it fly. No good. And a big rebound. And they're gonna call the foul on Valančiūnas.
I think that's a tough call for the official to make from that side of the play. I don't really think he saw what had happened here. Valančiūnas had his arm locked in, so he just pulled it back out again. I think, yeah, that's a bit of a tight one.
Dominican Republic bringing it up now is Solano over to Mendoza. Vargas gets another touch, and you can see Valančiūnas gets called with the reach in, but you could see that was a frustration call. He came right up on Vargas and in a way to almost say, I've had enough of this.
I think it was almost, this is what a foul is, kind of cool. You want me to foul someone, I'll show you me fouling someone. And yeah, an easy call for the officials. Completely overplaying Vargas on the perimeter.
Yeah, I don't even think he's upset about that. I think that was just him getting it over, getting it out of the system. Here's Solano. Oh, nice screen by Vargas there. But no finish, and the big man, Valančiūnas, now has his double-double.
Yeah, he does 17.10 boards.
Villanovas, no good, but he's going to go to the line. They're going to call it for 2.
That's interesting. It's sometimes a good ploy when you're facing a zone defense to try and beat the defense down the floor. So before they can set up, before they get their structure in place, and that's what Villanovas has done here with a little Euro step to the basket and draws the foul. Sometimes good, because it can mean for Coach Garcia that either his team have to work really hard to get back, which is an ask for the likes of Vargas and Baez to get back into a set zone defense that quickly, or he'll have to change up and have to drop back to a man defense.
Makes good on the first free throw. And one stat that I found fascinating just now, Santiago Rojas, as physical and as chatty as he can be at times, that's only his first personal.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? He certainly doesn't play a light brand of defense.
Rebound, Lithuania, offensive board here. They continue to dominate on the glass. Kalnidas works off the screen, kicks it out. Oh, great defense there, though. Here comes the Dominicans. Baez with the steal. Mendoza up, in, gets the kind roll. Lead down to 11.
And you feel that the Dominican Republic are throwing that kind of last dice now. They're throwing everything in and trying to really battle as quick as they can back into this one.
Kalnidas inside, Valančiūnas kicks it out. Kuzminskas, no good. Great closeout there by Rojas.
Yeah, real chase down, and he needed to as well, because Kuzminskas can shoot the ball really well when open.
0 for 6, Lithuania. Rojas gets it over to Mendoza. Vargas, top of the key, 6 seconds to go on the shot clock. Shot goes up, big miss, but Vargas, big rebound. Rojas kicks it back over. Solano, Vargas, mid-range jumper, gets the bounce.
Back into single digits now. The psychological barrier has been broken, and Lithuania's shooting woes continue. This is going to end up being their worst ever World Cup performance from the perimeter.
Villanovas, Kalnidas off the screen, tries to find him, kicks it back out. Valančiūnas works inside on Vargas, up and under, and just rims out.
That one looked like it would almost drop. For me, what Lithuania need to do, they need to go back to simplicity. When you're running against a zone, for me, the easiest way to do it is overload it. Just go down one side, and that really does cut the zone in half and make it really difficult for them to match up effectively.
Vargas, back over, Solano. Oh, nice find in the middle there. Great penetration by the Dominicans, and they're gonna have a Lithuania timeout. Solano getting hiked to his bench after that finish.
Just a miscommunication between Valančiūnas and Kalnietis then. You know, they switched, but they didn't switch, or did they switch and lose the open jumper?
It was an earlier fast break opportunity, but once again, that was really the play that started it all for the Dominican Republic. Vargas getting left wide open after some great ball movement. And then, of course, the drop. Beautiful shooting form from the big man.
Dešinę ranką 24 zrat į vidurį. Padarykit baudą. Nebėgam, blet, ant greito, net čytinam taškų. Visi dėl kamulio. Jauskit, blet, atsakomybę. Prieš aikštę. Krūtinę 5. 1, 5, 3, 4, 2. Eina taip, čia. Su driblingu Lukas eina taip, čia JV.
Valančiūnas has been on fire all game, and it's all through the motivation he has. A point to prove, a chip on his shoulder, and it's up to 17 points, 10 rebounds, and we're only 4 minutes into this second half, and he really is showing that he is one of the best in the world in the paint.
Don't forget those 3 blocks and the finger wags to go with them. I mean, but you know what, to the Dominican Republic's credit, they've kept him in check so far in this third quarter. We're almost halfway through, and he only has 2 points to his name.
And that's what the zone defense should do.
We work inside, Valančiūnas right on cue. Another rollout. Here comes the Dominicans. Solano, and they're gonna get called with a reach-in. Solano almost looking for a highlight there, as we also have some substitutions into the game for Lithuania. Number 43, Lukas Lekavičius is in. They're going to say no shot. They're going to call it on the ground as we take a look at another Lithuanian legend right there.
Hey, you don't get much bigger in Lithuania than Arvydas Sabonis, both physically and iconically. He is, an absolute legend in his own lifetime. And interestingly, here on the floor, Lithuania now in the penalty with over 5 minutes still left to play.
Roas, mid-range jumper, no good. Vargas, though, gets it. Mendoza back out. They're going to reset it. Here comes Solano with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Going to try and take on his man. Drives up and in. Great defense there in a strip. But once again, Dominican Republic finding it. And finally, the strip. And here comes Lithuania. Tries to kick it over, corner, Lekavičius for 3. Knocks it down, the first 3 of the game for Lithuania. Couldn't have came at a better time.
And Lekavičius once again with that spark, dropping the corner pocket 3, and he seems to have done that for Lithuania throughout this tournament.
Here's Solano. Mendoza for 3. Gets it in rhythm. Tough shot regardless, though.
I was going to say, I don't think we're going to see back-to-back threes from this game.
Lekavičius. Driving in, tries to get the spin move, and they're going to call a foul on Solano there under the basket on the ground.
And this is the problem he causes. He's a very different look than you usually traditionally get from Lithuania. Undersized, it's all about speed and agility and foot speed and hand speed, and that's causing Dominican Republic quite a few problems so far here today.
We have some substitutions in the game. Number 13, Polius Yankunas.
Corner pocket 3 there from Lekavičius, just beautiful and wonderful teamwork. They just overloaded, and that's the key, overloading, drawing the defense out, finding the open man, and you see how the Lithuanian fans enjoyed that one.
Got a timeout here for Lithuania. We'll see what the coaching staff has to say about that.
hizo daño el point guard. Tomo el point guard. Nos metió un triple, ahora nos saca un foul. Entra y nos hace daño. Hay que tomar el point guard. Deny que no le agarre el point guard. Vamos a defender esta bola y jugar acá. Uno. Escuchate. Uno. A ver si entra el back pick acá. Y fíjate el flare de Sadier. Porque no lo estamos mirando. El flare acá. Estamos a 10. Vamos a agarrar este balón. Vamos. Dale.
It's a nice call. Timeout from Che Garcia. And no surprise, really, they've outscored Lithuania 10-6 in this third quarter. We've seen it throughout the tournament. I don't know if it's a Nanjing phenomenon, but the third quarter seems to be quite an important quarter at the moment for us.
It's a critical time in the game of basketball. It really set the tone for the rest of the game.
Yeah, we've certainly seen plenty of games won and lost in this third quarter.
Dridis gets it over Valančiūnas, up and over, and what a finish. It doesn't matter what hand he uses. He's ambidextrous with those finishes.
Yeah, his stature in the world game is growing as every play goes past here in Nanjing.
Rojas in the corner, gets it up the top of the key to Mendoza. Solano now gets it back. Solano looking for an option. Mendoza, corner, gonna let it fly. Baez can't get the drop. Extra effort by Rojas. Tries to find it out to Roberts. Another three, knocks it down, number 13. Ulis Baez.
And that's a big play for Dominican Republic. They've not had much joy from the outside, but it gets them back down to a single-digit deficit with Lithuania again.
It was Valančiūnas. Floater. Oh man, he's just feeling it.
He's on a different level right now. Valančiūnas is really feeling it, and I'm loving the play to open him up. I love that top screen action on a 2-3 zone. It really opens the lane up, and if you've got some speed and a little bit of a soft touch, you're going to get yourself some points.
Solano, Roberts, motion offense right now. Mendoza, little step back, can't get the finish. They're getting the open looks. Hey, if you're comfortable with it, take it. Well, here comes Lithuania at the other end. And we're going to say it is Dominican Republic ball as Roberts got knocked in the face there by Sabutis, who was flying in from the lane.
Yeah, I think Sabutis again was kind of caught just taking too much time trying to draw the foul rather than go to the basket. But here's the three from Baez in the corner, and that's certainly the medicine that Dominican Republic needed.
We've got to love that confidence. He did not move after missing that first three. He just kind of staggered out a little bit, staggered back in, got right back into his spot. He was very confident with what he was doing there, and that's something we've seen a ton from this Dominican team.
And the great players do it. The great players do it the whole time. They're able to say, okay, I missed, that's done. Give me the ball again. Yeah. And that's so critical to have that confidence and that mindset of the past is the past. I'm still a great basketball player.
Baez, right on cue, kicks it back out. Solano gets his defender to leave his feet. Mendoza now, a little bit of space, up and in, and he's going to get fouled. Nope, they're going to say it's a shot clock violation, and it's going to be Lithuania ball.
Good defense by Lithuania, working hard as Kalnietis will come back in for Sabutis, but for Lithuania, this is the key. They need to make sure they keep this paint locked down. I think they're going to be happy to give up some of these perimeter shots because I still think they're playing the odds that maybe Dominican Republic aren't going to get too many to drop from outside. So just lock down the paint and the win should be theirs. That's the mindset.
Here's Valančiūnas. Kicks it back into Kalnietis, and Valančiūnas works off the screen. Kicks it back up. Shot goes up. Rolls out. As you said, perimeter shooting has really not been the strength of this Lithuanian team in this World Cup. Liz, who's checked back into the game, number 5 for the Dominicans. Gets it over to Solano now. Baez thinks about it, gets his defender to leave his feet. Floater up, can't get the kind roll, however, knocked out of bounds. Lithuania ball. He's got to make those shots.
Yeah, he has. He's done. The funny thing is, we say it over and over, he's done the hard work.
Yep.
He's done the difficult bit of the offensive play. He's got the ball, he's got the space, he's got his man either moving in the wrong direction or up in the air, and it's just been let down by that finish.
Valančiūnas almost loses it there. The pass inside. Valančiūnas gets it back over. Dridis. Yankunis off the spin move, and they're going to call the foul on number 44, Luis Montero.
Yeah, that's a really, really strong move by Valančiūnas. The quick spin meant Montero had to start playing defense with his hands. And as soon as you start playing defense with your hands, the refs are going to call you.
And of course, Valančiūnas, great job there displaying his discomfort. Here comes Valančiūnas now, up and in. Looks like he was going in slow motion, but a great stop that time. Montero got the better of him.
Yeah, much better defense from Montero there.
Solano, Baez, gonna try and take on his man now. He's got the space. It's gonna be him and Machulis. Up and over, Kareem, skyhook, gets it in! And who's there? Mr. Ronald Roberts, number 33, with the jam.
Yeah, wonderful follow, perfect timing on the jump, and yeah, lovely chip jam.
Valančiūnas now, Solano on him, works off the screen from Machulis. Valančiūnas, who brings it back, but the defender, Baez, doing a great job staying with him. Now's the mismatch, Machulis underneath, falling away, can't get it to drop, and a lot of easy misses we're seeing from Lithuania.
Yeah, at the moment they're playing a slightly undersized rotation. No Sabonis in the game so far, and Valančiūnas on the bench, so it's not working brilliantly yet for Lithuania, this one.
Liz, crossover on Machulis, gets him to leave his feet up and in, but knocks it back out. Solano, he's going to want to reset now with just under a minute here in the third. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Solano gets a little bit of daylight inside, but there's going to be an offensive foul on Roberts, and almost the same thing we saw from the first round when Giannis Antetokounmpo was up against Garcia. He's trying to box out on the hip, but Valančiūnas, look at him, he's so small that it's his head.
And that's the problem, it's so obvious to the officials. As soon as the big guy puts his hand back, he's thrown an elbow into the face, and the officials are left with no choice. You can't let that roll, and that mismatch issue has been an interesting one to watch.
And even Roberts, he can't believe it. He's flopping, but if you look at the replay, Valančiūnas, he's just literally in an athletic stance, and when you're in an athletic stance and you have that height difference, you're probably going to eat some elbow.
He's given up nearly 20 centimeters.
Valančiūnas drives it in, goes right over top of Roberts and drops it in.
Wonderful performance from Lucas Valančiūnas, up to 15 points now, and he has been a real trigger, a dynamite player for Lithuania in this tournament.
Juan Miguel Suero has checked into the game his first minutes as he gets the ball here for the Dominicans. See if his length can create something here, kicks it back out. This is Peña, who's also into the game. It's going to get knocked loose, and it's going to stay with the Dominican Republic. They said that Valančiūnas had flipped his ball towards the baseline, much to his protests. Here's the replay.
Ooh. Yeah, no, Lithuania are right. Should have been a Lithuanian ball. It was off the hand of Peña.
Suero. Peña throws it up. No good. And Valančiūnas, with 10 seconds to go in this third quarter, is going to bring it up now. 11-point lead for Lithuania. Valančiūnas up and finish. Of course. Who else was it going to be, Mark?
Yeah, I think we just need to retitle. It's not the third quarter. This is the Valančiūnas quarter.
And that's going to do it. And at the end of the Valančiūnas quarter, an amazing finish there from an amazing player and an amazing performance.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful. He's really been a spark for Lithuania, and offensively up to 17 points now, leading joint scorer with Valančiūnas.
Lithuania 52, the Dominican Republic 39. Don't go anywhere.
Again, the shooting statistics tell us this certainly isn't a classic from outside, but it's been a wonderful game to watch inside the paint. Both big men working hard as well as guards getting to the basket. And no better big man to look at than Jonas Valančiūnas. He's got his double-double, 17 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks to his name as well. And you wonder if Lithuania were able to hold their lead, whether we'll see Valančiūnas on the floor for many more minutes here in the 2019 FIBA World Cup.
Lithuania has won every single quarter in this game. Or actually, excuse me, the Dominican Republic winning that third quarter by 1 point. Although you don't really want to take moral victories, you want actual wins. And the Dominican Republic have their work cut out for them, Mark.
Yeah, it's a big ask now going into this final quarter. They're down by 13 with 10 minutes to play, and If you're down by 13 and it's a 70 to 83 point game, you're like, yeah, we've got a chance. You're down by 13 and you've only scored 39 points in the game. Wow, you've effectively got to be scoring twice as many points as you did in any other quarter and still play great defense. That's a real uphill struggle.
It's not every day that you find a team up by 13 when they've shot 14% from the three-point line.
Yeah, very rare indeed, but Lithuania have put on a clinic inside though.
Yeah, who needs it? Who needs three-pointers when you've got a 7-footer that's about as wide as he is tall? As we get back to the action here, here's Solano. Tries to put his defender on skates and goes right over top of Valančiūnas. Very impressive finish there by the young man.
Hey, it's a great start and it's the kind of spark that the Dominican Republic need. They just need to build on that now though. They need to get a defensive stop and get their offense really starting to motor.
Valančiūnas gets it over. Valančiūnas now back into the game for Lithuania. Finds it inside the big man who's on the isolation. Oh, nice find there. Valančiūnas up and in, the foul and one. And you can see Valančiūnas at any given moment. He could have made the spin on Roberts, but he was effectively waiting for Valančiūnas the whole way to cut through.
And that's the smarts. That's the IQ coming into the game. He's waiting. He's waiting to the defenders just move to the right angle, and Valančiūnas could make that slice and just adds another tick to the box score for Valančiūnas, his first assist of the game.
I can't believe that's his first assist.
Yeah, it's tough to believe, but the box score obviously tells you an awful lot about the game, but it also doesn't tell you things like how much he's drawing players out, and he might be the assist of the assist. I know in ice hockey they talk about that.
All right, ball went in, right?
He's trying to reach the ball now. Okay, the contact is pretty hard, but for me, he tried to reach the ball.
Yep. Not overly excessive?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just go with normal foul.
With the normal foul.
One shot.
So
okay.
we'll stay with the normal foul.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay,
normal foul?
shooter is number 51.
51, okay. Normal foul. You gonna change it? Go normal foul here, guys. One shot, normal foul, normal foul.
So the referee's just reviewing to see if it was an unsportsmanlike foul, if either the force was slightly excessive or if there wasn't a play at the ball, but as you saw from the review, he was playing at the ball. He was just a little bit too late.
At the line is Arnas Valančiūnas, 4 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist in 7 minutes of play so far. Makes good on the three-point play, give him 5 on the night, and increases the Lithuanian lead to 14 with just over 9 minutes to go in this game. This is Montero, Selenia. Gets it over, up and in, can't get the finish. Still going to remain Dominican Republic ball, and Mendoza wants the foul, but I saw a lot of physical play, but nothing really too vicious.
No, Valančiūnas is retreating. He's not retreating maybe as fast as Mendoza wanted him to, but he's straight up. He's only moving backwards, which you're allowed to do, so I think it's just good defense.
Here's the inbound. Solano gets it out to Roberts. Roberts back over to Solano. Solano, 3 seconds on the shot clock. Hard step back. Good effort, and they're going to call a foul under the basket. We'll see who it is on. I believe it's going to be on Lithuania.
Yeah, I think Kalnietis is going to get called for it. That'll be his second.
Dominican Republic get away with one there. And you know, I'm loving the comfort of him taking that shot. Now all he's got to do is just make that adjustment now. Everything he's been shooting from that has been short.
Yeah, for me, the reason he's short is his step back is too far. It's way too exaggerated.
And we've got another foul right back the other way. As Lithuania is going to get it. And the foul, I believe, is on number 44, Luis Montero.
And it's these unforced errors, these turnovers that you just can't afford. And oh yeah, he's made it very easy for the officials to call that.
Kicks it over now. Valančiūnas gets it back. This has been his game in the second half. He already has 17. Kuzminskas kicks it out in the corner. Great ball movement by Lithuania. They are feeling it. Kalnietis inside, up and under. That is some beautiful basketball, and Mark is applauding over here in the commentary table.
That's absolutely wonderful. If you're a basketball purist and you like the team side of basketball, you're not going to get a better offense than that. So unselfish, but the right decisions. Kalnietis waited at the perfect time to pass that ball, and a wonderful little fake and score for Kuzminskas.
Motion offense here for Dominican Republic. This is Mendoza. Kicks it back out. Solano. 1 second on the shot clock. Throws it up. No good. They're going to count it. No, they're not. Shot clock violation, Lithuania ball.
Yeah, good defense by Lithuania, and Dominican Republic can't afford to make these mistakes, not going earlier in the shot clock, not finding an option earlier in the shot clock. I'm sure Coach Garcia will be working hard. In fact, he's going to work so hard now, he's going to call a timeout, and rightfully so, they need to change something up.
Timeout, Dominican Republic. We'll see what Coach Jay Garcia is going to draw up for this Dominican Republic squad.
Vamos a triángulo con los dos bases. Se me pone hombre a hombre, boludo. Vamos a zona. Zona. No medio. Valančiūnas. Todo el mundo se cierra. No a robar porque pasa bien en los cortes. Vos pega en los cortes. Acá. Juan paso.
Of course, here is the man of the moment here, Mark. Lucas Rigoberto, 17 points, already matching Jonas Valančiūnas in the scoring department, along with 3 rebounds in just 16 minutes.
Yeah, he's one of the bright stars of the future for Lithuanian basketball. This is really a breakout tournament for him. Just 25 years old, as Algiris guard is averaging 11.5 points per game, and this will be a game that he'll remember for a long time.
You just love seeing the energy and effort. You knew this Lithuania team was not going to let down their fans that have made all this trip all the way out to China. It's just really been something to watch.
Yeah, wonderful for the fans to enjoy.
Inside, finish there, and there's another man who's had a very good game so far, is Kuzminskis with 12 points now in 19 minutes of work.
And he does things really quietly.
Yeah.
You know, he just gets the job done, and you look at the box score at the end and you're like, what, double-digit points, near 5 rebounds? What's going on? I didn't see any of that.
Liz loses a handle on it, and it's going to be Lithuania ball. And Liz looking for the foul. However, you know, when you're initiating contact like that consistently.
The thing, I think he's found his match with Likovic is that he has, just as quick as he is, and has the ability to almost get out of the way and pull the chair on him a little bit.
As Kalnidas now comes back in. 3. No good. And Valančiūnas nearly comes down with it, but it's going to be Dominican ball. Mendoza, fast break opportunity to Liz. Liz kicks it inside. Roberts, huge rejections there by Gidritis. And Gidritis doing his best Valančiūnas impression.
Yeah, certainly it's great for some of the younger players in the Lithuanian team. Gidritis just,
perfect.
You know, learning the trade, and it's really great to see that kind of interior defense throughout the Lithuanian team.
Kalnidas, Gidritis, no good. This is Mendoza. And it's going to go out of bounds, and you can see the Dominican offense, the head's hanging a little bit lower than what we're used to seeing. The energy a little bit more lackadaisical, a slow unraveling almost. You can see that right there. Not even, Baez didn't even go for it.
No, and you're seeing the reaction now from Coach Garcia as well. He's starting to look slightly deflated, and they really do take a lead for him on their emotions.
Vukovic now. It's going to be an offensive foul for Lithuania. And the Dominicans are going to get an opportunity to, in a sense, make up for that poor possession.
Yeah, and they're going to need to really be fighting back into this soon. They're down by 18, just under 7 minutes to go. And because the Dominican Republic play at such a pace, that gap, it may be not as concerning as it would be if it was another team. But they can't, as they are now, bringing the ball up the floor slowly. They need some urgency. They need to be a little bit more direct than they have been so far.
Roas to Liz. Mendoza off the screen, shot goes up, knocks it down. He knew exactly what he was going to do once he got that ball.
Yeah, it looked really comfortable as well. It was like it was his money spot. He was more than happy to take a couple of dribbles, spot up, take the jumper. And key for Dominican Republic now is getting the ball into the hands of the players in the right spot for them.
Vukovic, man-to-man defense now for the Dominican Republic. Valančiūnas works inside, just him, and gets the roll. If I'm Valančiūnas, I want to take that shot every single time. It's almost unstoppable for a guy his size on a man that he's facing right now.
Yeah, it is. It's, you know, he's almost doing it in slow-mo, but this is what we talk about when you coach people. You're like, it's not necessarily about the speed, it's the purposefulness of what you're doing. And for Valančiūnas, you know, as we see almost stolen away, that's how he plays the game.
Substitutions back into the game now, and I believe that, you know, given the score right now, we'll see if that's the last we might see of Valančiūnas with a 18-point lead. However, anything can still happen. This Dominican team knows how to score in buckets, and now that the paint's opened up, can Baez get in? But a huge rejection! Not happening, says Kuzminskis. Fast break opportunity, kicks it back out. Kalniņš for three, knocks it down!
Beautiful flowing basketball from Lithuania. Big rejection by Kuzminskis at one end, and then they just flood down the floor. And Kalniņš breaks the curse, drains the three.
Roes, Vargas, Mendoza. Back to Liz. Liz, he's going to take on his man. Tries to break down dribble, up and in, floater. Just a little too strong, flying it a little too much. And there's going to be a foul on Gidritis.
Yeah, it's the right call as well. He may have a smile on his face, but it's a silly, impetuous foul, and you can see the telling off that he's getting from Ulanovas. He got hooked up with Liz, and instead of just trying to pull his arm free, threw an elbow at him. It's not what Lithuania need.
We didn't get a chance to really talk about this in the broadcast, but I have had kind of an eye on that matchup. That has been a matchup we've seen a few times, especially for rebounds. And, you know, to Liz's credit, he's an agitator. He knows how to get under people's skin, and that's not the first time we've seen him do that.
All right, let's see another round. Let's go to that one there. Okay. So we got the first sit on 5. So we can go double unsportsmanlike here. Double unsportsmanlike. White 5 and white 5 and green 31. All right. All right. So we're gonna go double unsportsmanlike. Okay. Here we go. Point of interruption. It's gonna be point of interruption, correct? Okay. All right. After review, we have a double unsportsmanlike. White 5, green 31. Double unsportsmanlike, and we're going to go to the point of interruption.
Okay, great use of the review system. Everybody look at the video here, and you see Liz just whack the arm down onto Gidritis, and Gidritis throws the elbow. Gidritis was more obvious than Liz, but that's exactly what the video review system's here, and a great use by the officials.
Kalniņš bringing it up now for Lithuania. They're enjoying a 21-point lead at this moment. Gidritis, now he's going to drive it in himself, and they're going to call an offensive foul this time on Lithuania. See who it's on. I do like that, though, as Kalniņš right away gives it back to Gidritis, who felt like, you know, he'd been the one that been kind of victimized in that moment there.
Yeah, I think it's a screen for Ulanovas that they're calling the foul on, as we see the Kuzminskis swat just tracked his man perfectly and timed it to perfection.
Here's Mendoza. Oh, nice fade there. But Mendoza gets it back. 7 seconds on the shot clock left. Roes for three. Knocks it down. He's really been the one lone consistent shooter in this entire game between both teams.
Dominican Republic now shooting up to 28% from outside. Still not high enough. They're going to have to lean on that heavily in the last 4.5 minutes if they're going to win this one.
Kalniņš kicks it over in the corner. Ulanovas gets it back. Kalniņš inside. Big man Jankūnas finishes with the left hand.
Yeah, wonderful team basketball from Lithuania once again, and that's the key for them. They know they can lean on each other offensively. They know they don't need one superstar to go ISO on the game, that they can play team ball and they'll get their shots.
Mendoza gonna let it go from deep, a little bit too strong, and Ulanovas comes down with it. Kalniņš, fast break opportunity, and Kalniņš was looking for an alley-oop, and both players looking at each other going, I thought you had it.
Oh, that was absolutely a pass for Gidritis. I don't think Kuzminskis was going to be able to get an alley-oop over the shoulder. That would have been an unbelievable play.
I hope we get to see this. Please show us the replay. Okay. Both of them just staring at each other at the last moment. And fans, even with the 20-point lead, are not satisfied. That is basketball culture in Lithuania.
Yeah, it certainly is. They want the best, and they want it for 40 minutes.
Solano gets it back from Montero. Kicks it over. This is Peña. Vargas. Solano. Solano driving up and in, gets a little bit of daylight. Oh, tough miss there. I don't think he thought he was going to be as open as he did. And
no, not at all. It was a really easy reverse layup, something you do in the gym 1,000 times a day, and criminal really at this stage of the game.
Here's the inside. And around hook. Good heads-up play there by Rojas, though, knocking it right off the rim. Solano. Looks off the screen to Montero. Montero now going to drive up and in himself. Very clean finish there by the long man. Here's the inbound. That's Yankunis that kicks it into Valančiūnas, who's also back into the game now. We'll see if he can add on to his 17 points. Kuzminskas gets it back out to Yankunis. Yankunis inside, nice inside pass there, and gets the kind roll is Edgaras Ulanovas.
And you just feel like Lithuania have almost slipped it into cruise control right now. They've got Dominican Republic exactly where they want them.
Montero. Solano. Solano still looking for an option. A whole lot of movement. Nope. Rojas almost loses a handle on it. And there's the turnover. Ulanovas goes behind the back. Kicks it over. But a bad turnover there. Montero now picks it off in the corner. Rojas for three. And he's feeling it. Heating up a little bit there for the Dominican Republic.
For Lithuania now, they need to time manage the game. You know, hopefully Valančiūnas has that in his mind, that they really don't need to take shots to the final 5 or 6 seconds of the shot clock. They really need to run some game clock just to make sure this game is in the bank.
Valančiūnas nearly loses it there. Kicks it over. Giedraitis. Step back three. Oh, if he knocked that one down. Whew.
That would have been a big shot.
Montero puts on the brakes. Ooh, tough roll there.
It sounds crazy, but it's the right shot from the Dominican Republic at this stage of the game, though. An open three given to you in the first few seconds of the shot clock. Take that shot.
Valančiūnas. Oh, gets the separation. Tries to kick it out, and he's going to get hit. It's a little bit of friendly conversation between Vargas and Yankunis under the basket. We got a substitution. Valančiūnas is going to come back into the game for Lithuania, number 51, as is Juan Miguel Suero. Also going to step back in for the Dominican Republic. He's going to take out the leading scorer for the Dominican Republic. That would be Rojas, Sergio Rojas, with 11 points on the night for him and 6 rebounds.
Reboards.
Reboards.
I like the new term. I quite like it.
Starting some new lingo out here at the FIBA World Cup.
It's about time. We've had the word rebounds for way too long.
Valančiūnas on the inbound. 1:23 to go in this game. And a tip away as the ball comes bouncing towards the commentary table here, but luckily we are protected by our sturdy plywood.
Yeah, I had to hold you down. I had to hold you down. I thought you were going to claim it and just fly onto the court with the ball there.
We had a little bit of fun earlier.
I didn't know you had such game. I saw you schooling some of the volunteers. I think you've left them traumatized with your skills.
You know, they're good kids, but they started talking.
I'd never start talking against Ryan. No. A bit of afters now. This is pointless at this stage of the game. There's absolutely no benefit to this for either side.
You can see cooler heads are prevailing as the officials doing a great job staying in the middle. I am very impressed with the officiating in this game. A lot of no-nonsense, getting right in the middle of it.
And thankfully the cooler heads in the teams as well, because Minskis there stepping onto the floor is absolutely no need whatsoever. If I was the officials, I'd actually say that's a turnover. You stepped onto the floor with the ball. I'd be like, rules of the game, that's a turnover. You stepped onto the floor with the ball, it's going to be Dominican Republic ball. Just no need at this stage of the game. There's 1 minute 19 to go. You're up by 17 points in a game that isn't going to see you qualify or get knocked out. Just, you can see some of the frustrations maybe from, you know, not making it through to the quarterfinals now spilling out for Lithuania.
Keep keep in mind, you know, both of these teams are very physical teams. They, you know, not great three-point shooters, as we've seen. You know, I've always thought of Lithuania as a team that can always consistently score from the outside and bruise a little bit on the inside, but that is not the idea of this specific Lithuanian national team this year, at this moment, in this time. Whereas the Dominican Republic have always been about slashing, have always been about the physicality of the game. And, you know, it's a culture clash at times. And it's for great basketball, but as to your point, Mark, there's no need for it at this point. Valančiūnas now on the inbound, 1:16 to go, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Idris. They're going to call the foul on the Dominican Republic. It's going to be on, I believe, number 41, Juan Garcia. Garcia. Hand on the hip.
Yeah, nice easy call, textbook call for the officials. Giedraitis will go to the line for 2 and hopefully get his first points of the game, and he does.
20-point lead now for Lithuania, just over a minute to go. And, you know, despite the disappointing result for Lithuania overall, they have to be going home feeling a little bit better about themselves after
And the
this.
reason you're hearing so many cheers and you see the Lithuanian bench on their feet, that's the first points of the tournament for Giedraitis. That's why they're celebrating that he's got himself onto the box score in the best column.
Peña kicks it out. Garcia gets his defender to leave his feet, tries to find it inside. And there's going to be another foul going to the other end here. 54.9 seconds remaining in this one. Almost was kind of hoping Garcia, after getting his defender to leave his feet, hoping for maybe a shot there from him.
Yeah, it's one of those, though, when you're not been in the game, you're not in the flow of the game, sometimes it takes you a little bit longer than you'd expected. Yeah, stand up for the shot on that one, just square to the basket.
Although I do love the team first mentality, and as a result as well, Garcia, we'll say it right now, he was one of the guys right in front of us that was trying to de-escalate the situation, trying to diffuse everything. And so, you know, it just shows a lot of character from him, period. And then the first thing he does when he gets into the game and gets a touch is trying to find his teammates.
Yeah, and that's the important thing. Usually on the bottom of the bench, that's what you want. You want glue guys, guys that come in and bond the team together and help on a more psychological level.
Mendoza, turn around, knocks it down. Nice little shot there. Lithuania, 41 seconds. They'll have time for one more shot. We'll see if they take it.
And Coach Adamaitis, if this is his last game coaching as head coach for Lithuania, he can go out with his head held high. His charges, his team have put on a good performance, a strong performance, and silence some of the doubters.
And it's going to be a off-ball foul once again. Much to the delight of the Lithuanian fans. Going home happy. You can see them chanting in the background there as we've got a off-ball foul that gets the Dominican Republic one more possession here. Literally no time difference between the shot clock and the game clock, maybe 1 second. And another rebound for the Dominicans and a foul. And now going to the line is number 2, Rigoberto Mendoza.
Now looking at the Dominican side of things as well, as we look at the replay of Mendoza going up strong and a tough play against Valančiūnas. They can certainly get back on the plane. They can go to the airport with their heads held high as well. What a great performance for them. You know, they've come to this tournament with most people expecting them to bow out in the first round, and not only have they not bowed out in the first round, they've challenged every team they've come against. There is no team that will say, yeah, we had an easy game against the Dominican Republic.
It's a fact as we go on the inside. As Dominicans still wanting to play defense here right to the end. 4 seconds. And that's going to do it. As Lithuania finishing this tournament on a winning note with a 74-55 victory over the Dominican Republic.
And in the end, it became a little bit more of a stroll in the park for Lithuania at the back end of the game. You know, that second quarter from Lithuania where they outscored the Dominican Republic 19-10 really opened the game up, and Lithuania didn't really look back from that. Important, I think, for the Lithuanians to have a win to finish this tournament. They'll be disappointed they're not getting to go to the quarterfinals, but finishing the tournament with a win will help them when they look forward to potentially Olympic qualification next year, as they've got a berth in the Olympic qualifying tournament. And for Dominican Republic, again, I think that's a huge bonus for them. They weren't going to be assured of making it to the Olympic qualifying tournaments for next year, but they've got their spot. They've got a chance still of making it to Tokyo 2020.
As we take a look at the final stats here, I've got one question for you, Mark, or just even one statement I want you to comment on. There's a lot of NBA players that in a game like this would not touch the floor. They wouldn't. It's just the politics of international basketball at times. But there's one man that showed up and showed up hard for Lithuania and showed just how much of a captain Lithuania he really is. And that man's Valančiūnas.
Oh yeah, Valančiūnas. If you were to have a kind of poster boy for international basketball, someone that you'd show to young people about why you do it, what it means, you just stick him in a room with Jonas Valančiūnas. He's the guy that knows exactly why he's here. He's here to represent his country. He has such pride when he pulls on the green and yellow jersey of Lithuania. And yeah, true professional. And not just that, what a big performance. Double-double, 19 points, 10 boards. Another huge performance for him.
We take a look at the take a look at the highlights here just from this matchup. I mean, this really has been, we're going to see a whole bunch of these highlights throughout the entire game. Just finishes on the inside, finishes on fouls, post moves, step backs. I mean, it was a clinic. If you loved interior basketball, if you loved the throwback to the 90s and 80s style of basketball, you were not disappointed if you were watching this one, Mark.
Oh no, this was, you know, this was billed before we even started the game that we knew we weren't going to be in for a vintage shooting display. This was all about how the paint was going to be dominated. And both sides worked so hard. Lithuania came out on top, but yeah, a wonderful exhibition of exactly what post basketball is. But also the guards getting in on the act as well, looking for those open lanes and those just the slightest of gaps to be able to penetrate the defense.
Let's take a look as well, you know, the Dominican Republic getting off a little bit slow, getting out muscled in that interior post, but you have to imagine, you know, in that fourth quarter, finally starting to find the three-point shot, especially Rojas as he's walking past us. Unfortunately, it just seemed like it was a little too late.
And that's exactly it, was a little too late, and it's frustrating. And I think for both of these teams, probably one of the biggest lessons for the coaching staff will be, I need some three-point options on my team. You know, that's always going to be limiting. If the team you play against knows the only thing you've got is your interior, they can redesign and rejig just to lock down the interior. You need a more balanced offense if you're going to make it to the later stages or even get a medal at a championship like this.
Absolutely, as we're taking a look at some more highlights here is Lithuania. I mean, just a very impressive performance, but Mark, you know, give us some of your thoughts. You know, what can the Dominican Republic take away from you know, despite the disappointing finish in this game, I mean, this was one heck of a World Cup for them.
Oh yeah, they can take away confidence. They really can. You hope they can hold on to the services of that man there. You know, Coach Garcia has worked wonders with them and is a real asset to them. So that's the thing for me. They can take away confidence. They're either going to finish anywhere between 13th and 16th, depending on other results. For Lithuania, they'll go away with a bit of confidence and, you know, a bit of vindication. They'll finish anywhere from 9th to 12th. But both of them have earned their place at the Olympic qualifying tournaments next July.
It's a very, very impressive game and performance by Lithuania. As we take a look at the final score, of course, Australia and France coming up in a couple hours' time. And here's a look at your road to Tokyo. Qualifying tournaments, of course, Lithuania and Dominican Republic now in it, as we spoke about earlier.